talking about a really sensitive subject and maybe I spoke too much truth. I think the phone heated up so much from my words that the thing went black and I thought my phone went dead. But when I check my battery, I have like over 80% at minimum. So I have a lot of battery on my phone. So that's obviously not the issue. So I don't know, maybe YouTube is busy this time of day. I don't know what just happened. But anyway, hopefully that other stream is saved. But if it's not, then I'm probably just gonna, regurgitate some stuff in this video because that first live stream, I have no idea if it even I have no idea if the first live stream even is saved. I don't know why that would happen. But anyway, I'm still gonna say what I wanna say. This is part two, you all. So basically continuing off what I said in my first video, what I was trying to say to you all is that you know, truth be told, I realized so I'll just do a little summary. So my first video, I was basically talking about how I've changed so many parts of my life to feel the peace I have now. I've been like really happy, and with that happiness and sacrifice and hard work, I've realized that I maybe continuing to invest in romantic relationships for now, or my twin flame connection is not for me, and that I want to, I'm waiting for confirmation. Basically, I was speaking about in the first video that I'm waiting for confirmation, because to not be labeled selfish or mean or whatever, because of the dynamic of the spiritual connection. It can't just be me. It can't just be me putting the nail in the coffin, tossing the book aside and saying, okay, to hell with you. I can't be the kind of person to be like, okay, well, I'm not interested. I don't want to continue this anymore. I want to focus more on myself. I want to, continue to be as happy as I have been. I don't want that to be messed up right now. So I've turned a corner. In the first part, I was explaining to you all how I've turned a corner, and it's like I just want to be done with that. I genuinely just want that to be sealed and dealed and done. But you can't, unless I want to be so-called selfish and mean, that would mean that I would just basically block him on everything and be like, okay, I'm never gonna hear from this person again. And if they drop dead, it's not gonna affect me. I'm not gonna care, because then at that point I'm done. Spiritually. So that's what I was trying to explain in the first video, is like, I was talking about, life changes and everything and things I've done, along the way that I've shared with you all. And it's been great. It's been so good. So sorry about the crash, you all. I guess the I don't know what, either the app is too busy, or the phone overheated, or the connection. I don't know what just happened. But I have my data and my Wi-Fi on. On my end, it looks perfect, but I don't know. Sometimes if a video is long, like if a video is super long, sometimes it does crash. And that first part was like over 40 minutes, which I wasn't intending to have it be 40 minutes, but that first part was over 40 minutes. So this video, so basically everything I just said in the first part is in more detail, but I just wanted to give those who didn't see the first part, or if the video doesn't upload, I want to give you guys a summary of what I was talking about. So to leave off and kind of continue into this video, this live stream, if that live stream is not up, you'll have this one. This one will just be the culmination of what I said in part one. And now part two is that, I've realized a lot of things about relationships. I was telling you all in the first part, I'm telling you all now that I realized, you cannot change people. You cannot make them do what you want, excluding friends and family, because, friends and families off limits. And I was telling you all how, anybody, friend or family that's super close to me, is like, I can read them. If I get a bad energy, if I feel like, okay, this person's trouble, they're not going to be in my life. Maybe I'll know of them, I'll have their phone number, but we're not going to be on a close level, buddy level, where you're over my place, we're going here, we're going there, no, regardless, I'm not gonna have that line crossed. So with that said, I was talking about, how I've realized when it comes to romantic relationships, romantic love, how hard it is. It's very hard because, and I was also explaining in the first part of the video, the live stream that crashed or whatever happened, is that, there's a lot of disease. I was talking about C-19. I was talking about monkeypox. I was talking about all these scandals going on, all these crazy things happening, and it's a lot of risk, because of the way people are so sickly and there's so much disease out here. It's even a bigger risk now, getting intimately involved or even kissing. You can get things from just kissing someone. So I was explaining how the stakes are even higher now. We have two pandemics, we have two viruses, and it's getting worse out here. It is getting worse in the world. And so I was also talking about how I've really prioritized my health. My health and my peace and my happiness has been top of the line. And once I stopped giving what's in my cup to everybody around me, including my twin emotionally, once I stopped doing all these different types of things, or even just caring, or even, if I had a thought, whatever the case may be, now it's like, okay, well, I put that love, that affection, that time into my own cup, and it's benefited me greatly, to the point where I've been a little bit shocked. So, there's been just a change in my perspective. And so where I left off in the last video was telling you all that, I've realized, like, if your only goal or your only reason for being with a certain person is because of financial security or money, that I don't think it's a good reason for a romantic relationship. If it's an arrangement, if it's an arranged marriage or something like that, that's one story. But if this is something that you're going out to seek, you know what I'm saying? I've got to a point in my own personal journey, my own life, my own peace, where I'm like, you know what? That's not even worth it to me. Maybe when I wasn't as awakened and I, wasn't really as knowledgeable, I would think that people that do that is, it's their own prerogative and it's whatever. But now it's like, okay, when you're in such a happy place in your life, and when you are finally doing things and living a life that is not full of drama, is not full of stress, and like you're just able to have good company, great company, and just have a laugh, and you're good financially and you make your own money, it's a completely different feeling. It's totally different than versus if you are inefficient, and you're lacking something. When you're not lacking anything, especially I feel emotionally, spiritually, you look at people differently. You don't tolerate certain things. You don't put up with certain things. And so this is where I'm at right now. It's like I'm finally in a place where I'm like, you know what? Life is really good. I've manifested a lot. I've done a lot. I've worked really hard. And it's like, okay, this is something that I want to have a finality to. Because even in part one, I was telling you all how, especially when it comes to this connection, it's like it's very open-ended, And I was telling you all how people, if they're honest, they'll tell you that, this is the hardest romantic connection you'll ever have in your life. And not just that, but being with a soulmate is a lot easier. Now, currently right now in my life, I'm not interested. I just think that I'm so over it, and I don't want to go through anything like that. I don't want to waste any emotional energy or time, trying to understand someone, trying to compromise, and that's what it is. If we're being honest, a healthy romantic relationship is not only compromise, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of, turning, your eye to certain things because you want to make it work. And I'm not in a position right now where I have to do that. You know, I'm not, and I'm never going to be. I'm never going to be in a position where I have to sacrifice my happiness and my peace of mind to say that I have someone, or to, yeah, to say that I have someone, or to appease other people. You know, I don't need to do that. You know, and I was making a correlation in the part one to the fact that when I would do certain readings or whatever, you know, people, I was talking about how women and men alike, but even women, you know, will look down on people that say stuff like this, and will say, okay, well, you want her life and you want this and you want that. And I'm saying it gets to a point where you value your health, your sexual health, your physical health, your mental health so much that not even that you'll sacrifice. If we're being honest, if you're a whole healthy person, there's just things that you're just not going to put up with because you don't have to. And I think that's the luxury that a lot of women are now experiencing in this generation, and maybe that other generations didn't have, is that they're not able to walk away. They're not able to, you know, not marriage. I'm not going to speak on marriage because I've never been married, but I'm saying like even just plain relationships. Like they had to stay because of money. They had to stay because of society and because of their positioning in society. So I understand, you know, now more than ever, I understand why things are the way they are in society. I get it now. You know, you know, it's like layers are being peeled back, and I'm starting to really understand why a lot of people are not going for that anymore. And a lot of people are jaded about it. I don't know why people are so jaded about it. You know, if a woman doesn't want a headache, doesn't want to be stressed out in a relationship, people think she's crazy. But I've got to a point where I'm like, no, you know what? It's not fun. You know, it's not fun wondering what a person's thinking. You know, like a jigsaw puzzle. It's not fun waiting or wanting to change, you know, really honestly wanting to change someone for your benefit. And you can't. You know, you can't move their arm and leg for them. You can't, you know, can't move their mouth for them. You can't inject thoughts in their mind to think a certain way. You just can't do it. And so that's why, like, right now, I'm genuinely not interested. And I think before when I wasn't awake, you know, if somebody looks good or whatever, you know, it's like, ooh. But then as life progresses, you realize, and when you have your own things, your own money, your own beautiful, nice things, you don't covet that. You know, the Bible does speak about not coveting people's things. So even in a romantic sense, if you're with someone to get what they have, you know, and that's the agreement, that's another story. But I'm saying, if it's at the sacrifice of your happiness and your mental health and your sexual health, because people are getting diseases nowadays like crazy, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all. Because behind that, you're gonna have tears, you're gonna have heartache, you're gonna have betrayal, you're gonna have mental disorders, you're gonna have, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, you know? And it's sad, and it's sad. And in the first live stream, I was telling you all about, you know, what we've been, you know, what a lot of people are seeing and experiencing out here. And more than ever, because of the state of the world, health is number one. You know, a woman's health has got to be number one. You cannot be taking risks like that with your body. You know, I'm sorry to say it, like, it's getting to a point now where it's like, okay, you're taking a really big risk here. You know, you're risking your health, you're risking your time, you're risking your emotions, and it's like there's nothing positive out of that. You know, the only thing that's positive is if you get gifts. If you're getting gifts and but even with dinner, like, you could pay for your own dinner. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. You know, I just don't understand the thinking of, I need to have another person validate me. I need to have another person give me what I can get for myself. That is weird to me. It's getting that part of it is getting weird to me. Where I don't really understand that, because if you just apply yourself a little bit, you know, the universe will make it happen for you. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that men seem to understand, is like, when they, besides the patriarchy, men understand, like, if you apply yourself, you work hard, you will get it, you will get the money, you will get something. And I don't understand where things have gone wrong, where people are catching STDs and being embarrassed online, and people posting texts and all types of crazy things just to say that I have someone. I can't understand that. The public humiliation, the shame, the mockery. I don't understand that part of it. So I'm just in a totally different headspace now. And that's due to the fact that I put that love back in my own cup, that attention, that focus into myself. And since doing that, I lack nothing. But when you're placing your energy, which is so precious in times like this, your energy, your time, with everything else besides yourself, you're going to lack. And then you're going to have to seek out other people or friends to validate you. That's what happens if you're not careful. So even at my young age, I've realized, okay, that's not it. That's not it. And it's even to a point now where, if somebody's attractive or somebody has a nice car, okay, well, I have a nice car. You know what I'm saying? I have I have a lot of nice things. So it's at a point where I'm like, okay, well, is that it? You know what I'm saying? If that's all you are to me, is a paycheck, I definitely don't need you. I don't need you. And I wouldn't want that anyway. If somebody is, if it's not genuine, I wouldn't want it. If it's genuine and the person's a decent human being and is a nice person, that's a whole different other subject. Like, that is fine. That is a blessing. That's rare. But if it comes with torment and stress and headaches and looking behind your shoulder, I don't want no parts of that. So I'm just speaking about relationships in general, in this day and age, and what's happening right now in the world is like, it's to a point where you're having to sacrifice this for this. And the risk is even higher than what you're getting. Really, it's even higher than what you're getting. And so, I was saying in the first video, I think that if a man is happy with what you offer, what you're bringing, which is yourself, you cook, you clean, you suck them good, you give them kids, all that, and then you flip the table, and you're not, all you can say is, oh, the security, all you can say is, oh, money, but you can't say anything else. You can't say that he pays attention to you. You can't say he loves you, really. You can't say that he cares about you, he encourages you, and it's just dry. It's cold, and I'm saying that if you're gonna take that much of a risk with this thing called love, romantic relationships, like, I think that you should get what you want. I don't think you should have to compromise. If the man is getting everything he wants, but all you could say is, oh, he works a good job, I mean, I'm not impressed. Because like I was saying in the first video, I've been around money. I know I've dated men with money. I've I've gone to lavish events. I've seen mansions in person. I know people who own mansions. Like, I get it. I really get it. But like, if there's nothing but a dead corpse behind it, you're not gonna feel right. So for all the girls out here and guys out here who, talk down on readers, that talk about certain celebrities, you don't know what you're talking about. Because I'm telling you, like, it's not what you think it is. It's really not what you think it is. You're sacrificing your self-respect, you're sacrificing your morals for a pipe dream. When in reality, and this is a harsh reality, when in reality, if you worked a job and made your own money, you would not even think like that. You would not, if you have an intelligent mind and you actually have talent, or you actually apply yourself, you would never look at a guy and say, that's all, I gotta have, you would never think like that. it's a bonus, you know, it's a bonus. It's something that I think that if you are intimate with a man, you should have, duh. But I'm saying that if if there's nothing genuine behind the reason why that's the path you're going after, you're going to have a lot of heartache, a lot of issues. And I'm not just saying to say it, I've seen it. So that's why I'm saying, I'm just at a different point in my life, you know, and I never thought that I would say, oh, you know, if a guy has a nice car, you know, like, now I'm like, okay, you know, to be honest with you all, now I'd be really thinking, you know, how many women do they have? You know, um, you know, what's their lifestyle like? You know, um, how many people have they slept with? You know, when I was a little bit younger, I didn't think like that. You know, I didn't really care, honestly speaking. But like I'm saying, it's a spiritual thing. Once you get to a certain level spiritually, and also, yeah, to know I've gotten closer with God in a big way. So once you're fulfilled, just being who you are, when you do want to enter a relationship or when you do want to consider it, you think differently. You know, you're going to think a little bit deeper than the average person because you don't want to open yourself up to abuse. You don't want to open yourself up to anything that can harm you. You know, you don't want to do that. So it's weird to me. I think that the fact that living in this world, people think that even what I'm saying is foreign is sad, because to me, it just makes crystal clear sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you're having a family with somebody, you know, you have kids with somebody, you're married to somebody, of course you should be taken care of. Of course money should be coming in. Of course. But I'm saying that, what are you willing to sacrifice to get that? What do you have to put up with to get that? And if I am a whole happy person right now, paying my own bills, not catching diseases, can sleep real good at night, why would I trade that? Why would I trade my peace of mind and my health for misery? Why would I do that? I wouldn't. So I'm saying at that point, the only thing that he has to offer is money, because you're not offering me peace of mind. You're not offering me trust. You're not offering me nothing emotional, nothing that I feel is what romance is all about. Romance is not logic. Love is not logic. You know, it's two separate things. Love and logic do not mix. It's never gonna mix. So I'm saying that if you're going for love, right? Romantic love, that's different than saying, okay, we have a contract or we have an agreement. That's totally different. And I'm saying, if you want to be in a romantic relationship, I have now learned from my own, you know, I've learned to, and I've just realized in a deeper way that, okay, what you see is what you get. You know, what you see is what you get. If there's something like, if there's something about the person that you want to change, or you prefer them to do this, whatever, like, you can't, you know, unless that person wants to themselves. You can't move that person's arm and leg. You can't, you know, you can't change a person's mind. Like, they're gonna, that's who they are, is what I'm saying. Whereas if you take a break from dating, if you take you know, a breather from all of that and just put that love into yourself, and time and focus into your own goals, your own dreams, you don't have that issue. You don't have to wonder, oh, you know, I mean, you don't have to wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least for me, when you're in a relationship, it's even if it's flawless in the beginning, even if it's like a cool breeze, there's still going to be bumps. There's still going to be something that gets on your nerves. There's still going to be something that you have to talk about eventually, that you have to figure out eventually. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, I don't want to do that, you know? And if people say it's selfish, I don't really care, but it's like, I, I'm honest enough to say that I don't want to deal with that because I already have, um, every girl has, they've had to have hard conversations. They've had to, um, do some snooping, some investigation, you know, every girl has had to do this, sadly. So what I'm saying is, um, I just wanted to be honest, and say like, this whole romantic relationship thing right now, it's really not for me. It's really not for me. And I'm just way too happy. I've always been very happy, um, single, truthfully. I've never had an issue. My good friends will tell you, I don't lack anything. I don't feel like I need to have someone to say, this is my man. I can't relate to that. I know some girls who are like that and they get a high off of it. They think they're so special. But in my opinion, unless you're married to that person, you can't really say this is my man, because even when you're married, what you'll find is a lot of them will say that they are married, but they're still cheating. There's so many things I can say. I don't want to get negative, but like, I don't want to get negative. What I'm saying is like, it's superficial. It's superficial, and it's all about like the look and claiming something. And I'm at this point like spiritually where I'm like, okay, I don't get a high off of that. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me feel any different. It makes me feel actually worse, because why do I have to do that? You know what I'm saying? Why? I just don't get it. And especially when you make your own money, you're like, okay, I don't have to put up with that, like I don't. So guys, I don't know, but yeah, so the first part I spoke a lot about my connection, and this part I'm really not gonna, because what's the point? But what I was saying to some degree in the first video is like, I just think that I've understood that, it's a lot of it's a lot of work, it's a lot of sacrifice. And when you have your eye on happiness and fun and living good, I just came back from vacation. When you're having so much fun, the last thing you want is a headache. The last thing you want is to have to stop and say, oh well, like I don't want to do that. Not right now, at least. Not right now, at least. I want to continue to be happy, and it's just sad. I just think it's sad. Like for my other vlog, I was saying, I think it's sad how like people have to fight. People literally have to fight to be able to think for themselves, which I think is pitiful. Especially as a woman, like you have to have an explanation, for why you want to do a certain thing or whatever. And I never understood that, because, we're adults, we're adults. And when you get to a certain age, you're like, I don't have to answer to nobody. I really don't, you know what I'm saying? And I just think it's dangerous. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's really where I'm at, you all. And so, I was explaining in the first part that I haven't been able to, since everything has transpired, I haven't done twin flame vlogs. I used to, and I was telling you all in the first live stream that crashed that I enjoyed interacting with you all. That's why I'm back on here today, because I loved being able to relate to you all. I love being able to hear what you're also going through, and to relate, and, for us to bounce ideas. And I do miss that, but, you know, um, the reality is, I've really got to a point mentally where I'm like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to even leave a space. I don't want to even acknowledge it. It's I think I was saying in the first part, it's like I want to hit a button and just forget about it. Just forget about everything. I mean, it's giving me so much information. It almost feels like the information is backfired on this thing called romantic love. I feel like it's almost distorted because you just see what it is, you see it for what it is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, basically. So it's tough, and if I leave my comments open, you guys are willing to ask me any questions you want. If you want a question answered, not like for a service. I'm just saying in terms of this video, if you can relate, not a service. I'm saying like if you want to, if you're having any twin flame issues, and you want, my opinion, I will give you my honest opinion. And I so badly just want to be like, you know what, never happened. It's not real. I really want to, I just so badly want to be like, you know what, that's completely erased from my memory. Like it just okay, that's it. That's it. But sadly, when you have a spiritual connection, it takes two people. It takes two. So if one of you is going down a different path and is uninterested or whatever the case may be, the other person will feel that. And not just that, they may be upset, they may question themselves. And I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want him to question, I don't want him to feel bad about himself. I want him to work on himself for himself. Not even me. I want him to just be the best person for him, because to really enjoy life, to really embrace life, you have to feel good. You have to feel good in yourself. And it's really hard to form great friendships and try new opportunities, whether it's work or travel, whatever, if you're not where you need to be in life, if you're not a happy person, if you're not a whole person. So my wish for all of you watching is that you get to the point in your life where you are the happiest you've ever been. And that every year is better than the last, no matter what is happening in the world. It's my hope for myself and for you, and for especially twin flames, that you're happy and you're not feeling sad. You're not feeling down. You're not feeling frustrated. You're not feeling confused. Because I'll be honest with you, with that connection, that's how you feel. You feel like at any moment now, something is going to happen. Something is going to happen. And I was so tired of living like that. I was so tired of living. I know this is going to sound bad for some people who are in union, or maybe they're going to judge me, but I didn't like it. I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like to have to question. I don't want to if I don't question myself, and I don't question my decisions I make in my life, I darn sure don't want to question a romantic partner or a soul connection that has been bestowed upon me. I don't want to have to do it. And if that makes me selfish, then so be it. So freaking be it. Because, a lot of men are like selfish too, and they're happy. And women are forever chasing behind men, wondering why they can do what they want to do, and why they can, let go of people like it's light work. But for a lot of women who subscribe to certain ways of mentality, it takes them forever. It takes them forever to move on, to live their life again, because of what people are going to think about them. And that to me is sad, because then what that means is you're not living your life for you. You're living your life to people please for other people. And people pleasing is tied to manipulation, is tied to trauma, is tied to low self-esteem. And those are things that I do not associate with. I don't. So I can't relate to the idea of sticking it out because you want to say, I have someone. If I'm going to have someone, I want to enjoy it. I want to feel like, yes, no doubt, like this is what's supposed to be. And we are a support to each other emotionally. We listen, we give advice, we bounce ideas, you know what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of romantic relationships are just built upon lust and money and status and having the picture perfect postcard kind of family. And that doesn't do anything for me, whatsoever. I'm not impressed. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cute. I think it's fake. And so I can't relate. I cannot relate to suffering behind a man. I can't relate to wanting to put my life on pause for my twin flame. I can't relate. I'm never going to relate. So all I'm really, waiting for to be nice is for him to agree, which he hasn't before. But I think now I'm just at this point where I'm just waiting for him to agree. And truth be told, the time is running out where I'm not going to be so nice. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't want someone to have access to me, period, I'm going to make that call and quickly, because at that point, you're having an impact in my life that I don't want you to have. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like a soulmate. It's not like a regular relationship. Everybody knows this. So, but truth be told, my mind is just in a different place where I'm like, it's getting ridiculous, and I'm already not interested in dating right now. Having a friend, getting to know someone is one thing, but the kissing and the hugging and the sex, I'm gonna have to pause on that. I really, I'm telling you all, because it's too much. It's too much at risk, and it can get you distracted. When you start dabbling in all that, it's gonna be a distraction. So anyway, I'm going on 40 minutes, and my first live stream crashed around 44. And I maybe YouTube don't do so good with long live streams, so I'm gonna try to wrap this video up right here. So I just wanted to give you guys a life update and how my mind has changed. Maybe from what I've said in my last life update will sound different from this one, and I think it should, because the more knowledge you have, the more epiphanies, understanding, and the more real you get with yourself is the more you can, make a decision. But right now, I'm definitely not interested in, that, like anything, like I'm just not. I'm like, you know what? I've just been so much happier. And I don't want it to sound bad and mean, but like I've just been so much happier, doing what I want to do, living my life, not having to answer to anybody, not having to wonder anything, not having to question nothing. Like, I don't miss that. That type of thing when it comes to relationships, I do not miss. I do not miss the back and forth in text. I do not miss the arguments. I do not miss none of that. I don't miss it for a second. And I'm just preparing myself mentally and everything else to the point where if I never, you can't say never, but if I never even want to be, in a romantic relationship again, if that's my choice, that it sounds fine to me. Like I'm okay with that, because I've been there, seen there, done that. It's like I already, what else is there to experience? Like really. So that's where I'm at. And like I said, if you guys want to guys can relate, or you have a question, or, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Especially for those who've been following me and you know how everything has gone down. You know, if I have it open, which I'm sure I will, you know, for review. And I'll see them if I don't get to approve them, but I'll see them at some point. You know, I'm really busy, but you know, you're more than welcome to. And so that's my life update, you know. I hope that part one is up, but if it's not, you're gonna have this video. I think in part one I was more passionate. I was able to give more detail, but sadly because of how YouTube is playing, I I can't go back and regurgitate everything. But I tried my best in this video. So yeah, I mean, truthfully, I never thought that I would get to this point when it comes to romance. I never thought that I would ever think like this, but you know, as the layers peeled back and just things just became clear and crystal clear, and then just whoa, I was like, you know what, this would be what I need to do. It's not just because of the pandemics going on, but because and the risk that comes with everything, but just because, you know, it's right now it's not worth it to me in replacement of my peace and my progress and my prosperity. Because since I've changed things up, I'm prospering more, I have more peace, I'm happier. I feel like I'm like how I was before. You know, and every single time I entertain a relationship, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? It's this emotional roller coaster, and I hate that about it. I don't enjoy it. So I just wanted to be honest with you all, you know, for those who don't know my perspective on romantic love for now, because I'm sure it could change, but this is how I feel now, this year. And I didn't want to just be, you know, I don't want people to just assume for me. I want you guys to hear from me, and for those who follow my journey, I want you to hear from me how I feel, not just hypothesis or you know, maybe she thinks this, maybe she's going through that, maybe she's back with him. No, I want you guys to hear from me, like how I'm feeling right now, so that there's no question. And on top of that, you know, it's like a mark, you know, in my life, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, you know, I'll be able to look back on this and be like, wow, you know, wow. So that's how I'm feeling now. Am I shocked? Yes. I never thought that you know, a guy with a nice car, you know, I never thought that all those superficial things would fade away for me with men. I thought that, you know, I would always be like, oh, you know, that's just what it's supposed to be. And now I'm like, okay, I have my own money, so what else can you offer me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it comes to sex, you know, that's even a higher risk, and all these things are happening behind your back. I mean, you don't even know these days. So it's like, okay, not worth it. Like, not worth it. You know, I'll have a friend, you know, we can chit chat. But in terms of me getting emotionally invested or anything else, it's like, nah, I think that that would be a bad move right now for me in my life, because I'm just doing so well and I want to keep doing well, and I want to keep, you know, living my best life. And I don't think that I have to sacrifice that. And if I did, I don't care. If I have to sacrifice what I want to say I have somebody, I don't want it, because then at that point it's not genuine. That's not genuine. I wouldn't be a genuine person. I'd be a fake person. I'm not fake. So I can't do that. You know, I can't. Why would I want to do that? I'm not trying to please other people. I'm trying to please me. I'm trying to be happy for me and not for other people. So there'd be no benefit in that situation. So, and that's just the cold truth. So I've been really good, you all. And I just wanted y'all to know that if you've been worried about me, I'm fine. I've been manifesting like crazy. I've been praying like crazy. I've been really connecting more with God. Um, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm just because I had to make that change. You know, I had to be honest with myself and say, you know what do I need right now? What do I need right now? I need to be free from all that. I need to get those distractions out of my face. You know, like now, if I see a guy in a nice car, it's no longer about, okay, you know, now it's like, okay, well, I want to be successful for myself so I can have that car too. Not that I want the car. My car is perfect for me right now. I'm just saying hypothetically, it's like, okay, I'm not looking at them like that no more. I'm saying that doesn't impress me. It doesn't impress me, like I've been around Bentleys, Lamborghinis, BMWs, Mercedes, like what else do you have? Porsches, Maserati, Mustangs, you know, Aston Martin, like what else you got? That's all you got? Like you don't have a heart, you don't have morals, you don't have self-control. What can you really offer a woman? What can you offer me besides money? And that's something that I never thought like that, ever, like because I wasn't awakened at the time. So I never thought like anything different. But now that I'm like spiritually in a different realm, I have to operate different. I have to think of it like, okay, well, you know, if this person's sleeping around and they're buying you nice things, but they're sleeping around, or they're not, their body is not consecrated and holy, and they're, picking up all types of, I mean, you're going to be in a bad situation. Not only going to be heartbroken, but you're going to be messed up, jacked up. You're going to be a laughing stock. You're going to be sick. Um, and that is not my portion. That is not something that I want to engage in. So now I'm like, okay, let's shift the focus on